So from the last exercise, we now have a Ubuntu OS template for our EKS Anywhere cluster nodes. We built that particular template for 1.21 Kubernetes version. We could have repeated or done that procedure for 1.22, but in the article and the video, we have done it for 1.21. Now, the point is that at this stage, we do have this bare bones OS template for the EKS Anywhere cluster nodes, but I need some customizations to be performed onto that OS template. In this particular exhibit and example, I want the iSCSI package and the tree package, along with a self-signed certificate of my Keycloak server to be placed inside of the OS itself. Now, these are some of the common reasons why one would customize a bare bones Ubuntu template, and you could have a number of reasons. So we will start by exporting a few variables that will actually help execute the procedure actually. So we will start by exporting the variables, my data center name, the existing template name that I have, and then a temporary swap for building the custom template. So you can see that this is the template name currently, and then I'm actually putting a new template name as custom. At the end of this exercise, we will be swapping out the custom name to reflect the the 1.21 name, and then the existing template name will be suffixed by a value of deprecated and a date and time. You will see more of this as we go along in this procedure. So once we've done this, we will clone the existing template into a new virtual machine. So you can see that I'm using Gauxy and some of the variables here. You can see that the old template name, which is the existing template name, and then the folder, and then the virtual machine that will come up with this particular name. Okay, so let's do this. You can see that the cloning has started. So once the clone VM is available, we will not power on the VM directly. We will instead use cloud-init actually to bootstrap the virtual machine, and we need to SSH into this particular clone VM. So we need to set up the user and the SSH keys actually. So let's do this. You can see that I'm removing any instance of a SSH key named as custom image builder, and then creating a new key which will be actually by the name for the name custom image builder actually. So you can see that the key is being created. Once the key is created, the next thing will be actually to create a file called as metadata.yaml, and I can simply create and paste these commands, creating a file called as metadata.yaml. The only input or insert into that is that instance ID equal to cloud VM. So I'm just putting it there. And the next one will be basically to create a userdata.ml file. This will be all a part of the cloud-init routine. So you can just copy paste the command from the blog. And this is how now we have two files, the metadata and the userdata.ml. Now what we need to do is I've just given a temporary placeholder in this file with a static term called as SSH public key and the value. What we need to do is replace this particular value with the actual SSH key that we created previously. So to do so, we will just use these commands, okay, saying that I want to just cat my current public key of this particular user, and I'm going to echo that key value. So I'll take this entire key value. This is the public key for the custom image builder user, and I'm going to edit this particular file called as userdata.yaml, and you can see that the static term here needs to be replaced with the actual value. So I'll take this string out and then just paste the key here. Okay. Now both the files, metadata and the user data, they are both completed. I'm gonna basically use the base 64 encoded value of these YAML files. So I'll take these commands and paste them here, right? So you can see that I'm base 64 encoding these two files and then using that as the metadata and user data for the cloned virtual machine. Okay. Once I do this, the next step will be actually to power on, the particular virtual machine, and then we will note the IP address of that virtual machine to SSH into it actually. So you can see that the virtual machine has, starting to power on. Obviously, this particular command, the vminfo, right away it will not spit out the IP address. It will take a certain amount of time. So you can see that it's blank. So we'll just wait for a while before the virtual machine comes up. You can see the name of the virtual machine. It says custom with the previous template name. So this is just a temporary name we are giving before we fully ready this virtual machine and convert it into a finalized template. Okay. You can see the path also to this. It's right under my data center, VM templates, and this is the virtual machine here. So let's just wait for this IP address to be associated with the virtual machine. So it's been a couple of minutes. So I think the IP address should be there on the virtual machine. So I'm just listing the info for this particular virtual machine that we just cloned and powered on. Let me see the output. So we can take a note of this IP address, and I'm gonna just SSH into this particular virtual machine with the RSA key that is named as custom image builder. The username is custom image builder, and take this IP address and log into this particular virtual machine. So now we are into this particular cloned virtual machine. Okay. The necessary customizations are as per one's requirement. In this case, for me particularly, I want to install some of the packages. So I'll start with just updating the OS here. So after the update, I will just go ahead and install OpenSCSI and Tree on this particular OS. Now your requirements may vary. In my case, I'm installing these two packages. My iSCSI and Tree are installed. I'm going to just enable the iSCSI service. Once that is enabled, now I have one more customization that I need to perform. I have a Keycloak server running, and I would like to basically take the SSL certificate, the self-signed certificate of that particular Keycloak server, and put it in the trust store of the OS as such. So let me do this. You can see I'm just exporting, the keycloak.thecloudgarage.com. For you, it could be different. So, and then just updating my certificates. So we are done with this. So all the customizations that I wanted to do are done. You may have some more customizations. Once you wrap up the customizations, then we finalize the templates. As of now, I have nothing more to do. So for me now, it's time to finalize the template properly. Now we need to do some bit of extra process or procedure, to make sure that when the DHCP, for the DHCP configuration, particularly there seems to be a bug with Ubuntu and VMware in combination. So I need to remove the machine ID from the particular file called as varlib dbus here. So again, I'm not going to talk much through it. Let's follow the commands as suggested by VMware, And then once I do that, I'm going to clean my cloud-init. Okay. And then also remove the existing netplan file. I will also have to delete the host name, which is associated with the, so it should be localhost. So I'm going to delete this entry completely. Just leave the blank file here. Okay. And the second edit that I need to do is basically in the cloud configuration file. And I have to say preserve host name false. Okay. Else what will happen is that every time this template comes up, right, as a node in the cluster, it will bear the same host name, and that will create host name conflicts actually. So once we are done with this, we properly kind of, resetted everything that there is so that, this template can be now used with all the customizations that we have for it now. Once we are done with this, we will simply exit the virtual machine here, and we are back on to the EKS Anywhere admin machine with the image builder username. So now is the time that we will power off this particular virtual machine. We will create a snapshot of it, and then we will mark it as a template. Once we mark it as a template, then we will actually attach the tags to it correctly again, because we are in the process of actually rebuilding the template, and that will strip off any tags which are currently there on the old template, right? So for this new template, it will come up without tags. So let's take this set of commands, and you can see that I'm powering off, creating the snapshot, marking it as a template. The new template name is still that custom. And then I'm going to enlist or detail the tags which are currently there with the previous template. So you can see that on the previous template, I have 2 tags. So I need these 2 tags to also be there on the new template, which is being created here. So what I'll do is basically, those 2 tags I will take, and I will attach, that particular tag in this new template as well. So you can see what I'm typing here is tags.attach, and you can see this particular tag value here. Yeah, and this tag value is the same. So the previous template's tag is inserted as a value here, and then I'm putting it, assigning it to the new template as well. Okay, and there's another tag called as OS Ubuntu. Let's take that as well, and then put it on the new template. Okay, so as of this stage, I should have 2 templates. One with the previous name, which is the 1.21, and then 1.21 custom. Now, obviously, in the YAML files for the cluster creation, I'm not going to use every time a custom hyphen custom. So what we will do is we will swap out the names of the template so that the previous template has a suffix of deprecated, and the new template presumes the value of 1.21. So let's do that, and we can just take these commands. Let's take this particular command here. Okay, so you can see that what I'm doing is I'm renaming the existing template, the old template, with it, a suffix called as hyphen deprecated. And let's say, I'm gonna just put a value of date and time, or date also is okay. So for me, I'm based out of India, so I'm gonna use the, so you can see this. So I've renamed the previous template, and then I'm gonna rename the new template with the old template name. So you can see this, right? This is the new template name which has the suffix of hyphen custom. I'm just gonna put it to the old template name of 1.21, and that should basically take care of the entire process for the customizations. Let's also see in my okay, let's see it in the vSphere console also, if these changes are reflected. So you can see that I'm in my vSphere console, and here this is the customized template now, which is now bearing the name of Ubuntu, with the 1.21 suffix. And this was the previous bare bones template, and now this is called as deprecated, and we gave it the date and time here. So every time you want to do a customization, what we will do is we will take this as the base template now, since it has some existing level of customizations. If you want to install something more, we go through a similar process, customize the whole thing, and then deprecate this template as one more deprecated template, and then the new customized template will bear this name. So always, in the YAML files, we will reference this as the name if this was 1.21. If we were to do similar customizations on 1.22, then this is the OS template name, right? Okay, so for now, that's it. And hopefully this explains the proper procedure to customize the Ubuntu templates that will be used in the EKS Anywhere cluster nodes.